After 5 years of breaking up, I suddenly received a call from Luis. Selena will register our marriage at the Civil Affairs Bureau in 5 days. Our wedding will be held at Hill Manor. This is the grand once-in-a-century wedding I promised you. My brain froze on the spot. Shocked, I blurted out, "Didn't we break up 5 years ago?" A mocking laugh came from the other. "And breakup? I never agreed to that. You came back to the country so suddenly. Wasn't it because you heard I was getting married? Don't worry, the bride is you. As for Emma, I hope you can be magnanimous. During the 1,800-plus days you were gone, she was the one who stayed by my side. I trust you'll treat her well." I rolled my eyes and hung up straight away. Then several floating comments suddenly appeared in front of me. The heroine left without saying a word for 5 years. Don't be fooled by Luis's tough tone. His heart was practically shattered. Luis released the news about marrying Emma, only to give the heroine a lavish wedding. See, the moment she returned, he ran right over. What was Luis doing all those years? Now I have a good husband, 2 kids, a happy family. Who the hell wants that piece of dog crap? Chapter 1. After pressing the power button, I tossed the phone, bombarded with countless texts and calls. To the side. In the middle of the night, vague yet persistent knocking echoed continuously. "Open the door, Selena. How long are you going to keep being this unreasonable?" The noise was too disruptive. I yanked open the villa door, and Luis awkwardly stopped mid-step. His gaze locked onto my face, then swept down my body before he let out a mocking laugh. "TSK. Without me, you become this pathetic." Only then did I notice that in my hurry, I had thrown on one of my mom's house robes. The color was a bit old-fashioned, but at least it was comfortable. I was just about to speak, but Luis cut me off. "All right, since you know you were wrong, and you've come back, I won't hold your childish escape against you." Then his tone shifted, his smile fading slightly. "But that slap you gave Emma back, then I can't forgive that for her. The fact that we can still get married now is all thanks to Emma's generosity. I hope you can apologize to her. Emma is gentle and kind. During the time you were away, she was the one taking care of me. Because of you, I could never give her an official title, but I hope you can treat her like your own sister. The 3 of us can give her a home together." I cursed him 1,000 times in my heart, but my expression stayed perfectly calm. Because I am no longer the naive little girl from back then, and Luis is no longer someone worthy of stirring my emotions. If I showed anger, he'd probably think I was jealous of Emma. "Luis, what makes you think you're the only one for me? Have you ever considered that 5 years is a long time? Long enough for me to be married with children." Luis's gaze swept over my slender waist, and he sneered. "Everyone in our circle knows you're my woman. You've had a bad temper since childhood, spoiled and unreasonable. Aside from me, who would tolerate you, Selena, now that your family has fallen, which family would let you in as their matriarch other than me, who would marry you?" I found it funny, and I really couldn't help but laugh out loud. Luis and I were well matched in family background. Our engagement had been arranged since childhood, though genuine feelings for each other. He once promised that after graduation, he would hold a grand once-in-a-century wedding for me at Hill Manor. But before graduation, he killed Emma's grandmother in an illegal street racing accident and took Emma in as her dying wish, thus gaining a little shadow that followed him everywhere. Emma kept provoking me, and I eventually lost control and slapped her. Luis held her in his arms, looking disappointed. "You know how pitiful Emma is. She's lost her only family. I'm the only one she has left. You couldn't just be a little more understanding? She's like a little sister to me. You'll be her sister-in-law in the future. Can't you stop being so petty? I guess I spoiled you too much. You need to calm down." So-called calming down was him ignoring me, completely parading Emma around for 3 straight months. Everyone knew Luis had dumped me and found new love. I left him a message. "Let's break up." Then I left without looking back and flew to Paris to clear my mind. I never expected that one trip would lead me to meet my current husband. Chapter 2, you smiled. I knew it. There must be a place for me in your heart. Otherwise, why would you smile at me? Luis reached out, trying to touch my cheek. I turned my head to avoid him and let my smile fade away. I'm naturally someone who smiles a lot. You misunderstood. Luis sighed helplessly and showed a pampering smile. "Selena, you're still as mischievous as before. Fine, after we get married, you won't be able to hide from me anymore. I know how much you love me. After waiting 5 years, I'll give you the most perfect wedding. Seeing things go completely off track, I stomp hard on his toe. Taking advantage of Luis's pain, I swiftly shut the door and locked it in one go. Unfortunately, I was wearing flat shoes instead of heels. Through the thick door, I left him one last sentence: Luis, get lost. We ended long ago. The comments popped up again. Good news. The male lead finally spoke. Bad news. Wise at the mouth, he decided to grow, might as well have poisoned him mute. Now I get why the female lead ran. He deserves lifelong singleness. Even I want to slap him. Let the heroine shine alone, please. Luis looked at the shoe print on his foot and instead put on a knowing expression. All right, since you're shy, I won't go in today. Tomorrow I'll send someone to bring you the wedding dress. Try and see if it fits. Emma picked it. It fit her perfectly. Girls usually have similar taste. You don't look like you've gained weight. You should be able to wear it too. My upbringing didn't allow me to start cursing him out. Suddenly, I regretted refusing that man's company. Coming back alone really was a terrible decision. I couldn't help kicking the door, signaling him to shut up. Luis frowned. Selena, your temper really needs fixing. After you become the lady of the house, behavior like this won't be acceptable. You should learn from Emma. Our family business had indeed been declining these past 2 years. Since my parents grew older, they handed everything to professional managers and moved here to enjoy life with me, which was why at this moment no one else was in the villa but me. Otherwise, I would have had him thrown out already. Luis, since Emma is so great, why don't you marry her? I meant it sincere. Admit they were quite a match. Every pot has its lid. Just don't bring the disaster to me. Outside, Luis laughed again. Selena, you're jealous again. I've told you so many times. I only have you in my heart. I won't respond to Emma's feelings. Just obediently wait to put on your wedding dress and become my bride. Hearing his footsteps fade away, all I felt was the helplessness of talking to a brick wall. Fine. In a few days, my parents will return with the child, and he will be with them. Once Luis sees him, he naturally won't disturb me anymore. At dawn, Luis indeed sent someone with the wedding dress. It was in a gift box. I didn't open it. After wearing a unique custom-made wedding dress tailored to me alone, who would care about a piece of second-hand clothing that someone else had already tried on, I accepted the gilded invitation Ryan, Luis's assistant, handed me. I looked at the bride's name. Originally, Emma crossed out, then rewritten as Selena. I laughed and tossed the invitation back into Ryan's hands. Assistant, Ryan, you must have mistaken me for someone else. Send the dress to Miss Emma instead. I'm sure she'll be overjoyed. Ryan's expression darkened instantly. Miss Selena, this was supposed to be Luis and Emma's wedding. You're the one who interfered and made Luis change his heart, and now you pretend to act noble. I really don't understand what Luis sees in you. He actually hurt the kind and beautiful Miss Emma, because of you as expected. Being too close to fools makes you one too. Stupidity is contagious. I ignored Ryan's barking behind me and strode away. Chapter 3. After being away for so many years, I really miss Yanting's private dishes. Maybe I've been too unlucky recently. My car broke down halfway, so I took a taxi to the entrance of Yanting. The moment I got out, I saw Louis stepping out his car at the same time. He raised an eyebrow. You rejected the wedding dress I sent you, and now you follow me to Yanting. Selena, could you not be so contradictory? I know you care about me, but this kind of stalking behavior is disgraceful. You're jealous of Emma, but if I wanted to be with Emma, I would have been with her already. I rolled my eyes and walked past him toward the entrance of Yanting. Luis jogged a couple of steps and grabbed my arm. Selena, stop pretending I just saw you arrive by taxi. Is your family bankrupt? Are you so poor now that you can't even afford a car? I'm not looking down on you, but you're in no position to dine at Yanting right now. If you're trying to show off beyond your means, don't come begging me later. If you can't pay the bill, although our family business wasn't as good as in previous years, we weren't so poor we couldn't afford a meal. He saw me take a taxi and concluded we were on the verge of bankruptcy. I really couldn't understand Luis's logic. Loosening my clenched fist, I tried to keep my voice calm. I think you should eat more walnuts. Help your brain. Luis flashed a knowing smile again. You still remember I love walnuts? Fine. I won't argue with you this time. It's good you're here. Today I invited my buddies, and Emma is here too. Since everyone's gathered, you can apologize to her. The past misunderstandings will disappear. I withdrew the foot I had stepped inside yanting with. No, no. No matter how delicious the food was, I couldn't eat with that face in front of me. As I turned around, a figure blocked my path. Selena, why do you always walk? Away the moment you see me, Emma had completely abandoned her modest past, now dressed like a rich socialite. Wearing sky-high heels, she barely matched my height. She gave Luis a slightly pitiful glance, then turned to me. Are you angry about the invitation you left for 5 years? And when Luis suddenly announced he was getting married, everyone assumed I was the bride. That's why the wrong name was printed. If you want to blame someone, blame me. I couldn't control my feelings. Even though it was only 5 years together, it meant everything to me. But since Luis loves you, I'm willing to return him to you. As she spoke, a heartbroken tear rolled down her cheek. Emma, don't cry. Luis held Emma in his arms, glaring at me angrily. Selena, I thought you'd changed, but you're still this unreasonable. I haven't said a word, and she's already crying. I met Luis's gaze, my eyes turning icy. Luis froze for a second, then softened his tone. Selena, you grew up in a wealthy family. Emma had a pitiful life. You don't understand how sensitive she is inside. Even if you didn't say anything, your attitude hurt her. I want you to apologize to Emma. You're the older sister. In this situation, you should take care of her. A cold smile tugged my lips. Who's her older sister? I'm an only child. Please don't randomly assign relatives. And also, is it my fault her life was pitiful? If I recall correctly, it was you who ran over. Shut up, Luis looked disappointed. Selena, if you still want to marry me, stop acting out, Luis. What's so good about Selena? She vanished abroad without a word 5 years ago, and you drank yourself sick over her. If Emma hadn't found out in time, you would have had a perforated stomach. That's right, Luis. We all saw how good Emma was to you. She waited 5 years. She's the only one we acknowledge as our sister-in-law, Selena. If I were you, I wouldn't even have the face to stand here. Try to be everything at once. Back then you abandoned Luis, and now you can't stand seeing Luis and Emma together. So you came to ruin their relationship, disgusting Luis's group of low-class buddies, seeing he and Emma hadn't entered the private room, yet came out and caught our confrontation. They instantly united to gang up on me. Emma leaned in Luis's arms, her eyes slightly red, a tear hanging at the corner ready to fall. She removed the bracelet from her wrist and reluctantly handed it to me. Sister, this bracelet was given to me by Annie. She said only a daughter-in-law deserves to wear it. Today I'm returning it to its rightful owner. Luis stopped her and put the bracelet back on her wrist. My mom gave it to you, so it's yours. No need to wrong yourself. Emma smiled, face full of happiness, until she froze because Luis continued, Don't worry about Selena. I bought a top-grade icy jade piece. I plan to make it into a bracelet for her as compensation. My face froze as well. Taking a deep breath, I said each word slowly. I'm married, and I have 2 children. Silence fell around us. Luis calmly released Emma and walked toward me. Selena, stopped joking. Even if you're angry, you shouldn't make up something so big. I already checked. Your marital status is listed as single, and there's no way you have children. Or did you run off pregnant 5 years ago and give birth to a pair of kids for me? Luis's buddies burst into laughter. Emma stomped her foot in secret furious. I quietly pulled out my phone, planning to show them my 2 adorable little buns. Maybe telepathy exists. A video call popped up. I answered it, and 2 identical chubby, white dumplings appeared on the screen. Mommy Chapter 4, 2 milky, childish voices rang out at the same time, instantly drawing everyone's attention. Luis's breathing halted. He snatched my phone from my hand and stared fixedly at the 2 little ones on the screen. They looked only a bit over 2 years old. Definitely impossible to be 5. Uncle, who are you? Can you give the phone back to Mommy? The older twin looked puzzled at the strange uncle on the other side. Luis's breathing grew rapid, his hands trembled. Who is your mother? Mommy is Mommy. The older twin didn't understand. Brother is so silly. Mommy's name is Selena. The younger twin shook his tiny pink fists. Pay. The phone hit the ground and went black instantly. But the comment stream exploded. Oh my God, what's going on? Did the male lead just get cheated on? If it's a classic, ran away pregnant. Plot, those kids should be 4 or 5. So we all know what that means. Stop guessing blindly. Did you all forget this is a wife-chasing crematorium? Story of the kids are just an obstacle the author set up. Maybe it's even a test the heroine designed for the male lead. These babies are so cute, like little sticky rice dumplings. Annie wants to take a bite. At this moment, all my thoughts were on the suddenly cut-off video call. Would my older and younger little ones cry from the fright? I picked up my phone and kept trying to power it on, but no matter what I pressed, the screen remained black. Seeing Louis standing off to the side, drowning in anguish, I slapped him across the face. "PA!" Clear and loud. Louis stared at me in disbelief. "Selena, you actually hit me for 2 bastard brats. You raise your hand against me, PA." I slapped him again. Louis grabbed my wrist, eyes dark and oppressive. "Are you that unable to endure loneliness? We separate for a moment, and you hook up with some random man. Tell me, who is it whoever touched my woman? I'll make him wish he were dead." Looking at the hysterical man before me, I suddenly felt it was all meaningless. Chapter 5, Late Affection, is cheaper than grass, let alone this kind of disgusting so-called affection. Seeing me stay silent, Louise seemed to realize something and looked at me with disdain. "Selena, don't tell me you were fooled by some man out there had 2 bastard kids, and then got dumped and seized the opportunity and held Louise's other hand." "Sister, how could you be so self-disrespecting? Louise waited for you painfully for 5 years. And this is how you treat him. How are you worthy of Louise like this? I thought letting you be with him would make him happy, but now I won't step aside." Louise's buddies also try to persuade him. "Louise, you can't want a shameless woman like her. Marrying her would be a joke. Let her screw off. Only Emma's devotion deserves the grand century wedding you prepared." Louise closed his eyes, brow tightly furrowed. After a moment, he relaxed. He released my wrist, flung me aside, then held Emma's hand and interlocked their fingers. 3 days from now, I invite all of you to Hill Manor to attend my wedding with Emma." Emma's face flushed with excitement, and she gave me a triumphant look, as if saying, "So you can't beat me." Louise also looked at me, eyes full of complexity. "Selena, the one I originally wanted to walk down the aisle, which was you, but you didn't treasure it. You fooled around outside, and my family can't accept someone like you as a lady of the house, so I can't fulfill the promise from back then. Although all of this is your own doing, I still can't completely let you go." He sighed, bitterness seeping into his voice. "We grew up together. I never thought we'd end up like this. You knew I had you in my heart, didn't you, that I was powerless against you? Selena, you're heartless." "But why can't I let you go?" Louis murmured, his voice choking slightly. "Selena, you're no longer worthy of being my wife, but I'm willing to leave you a place at my side. As long as you send those 2 bastards away, I can accept you again. Emma is understanding and tolerant. As long as you stop causing trouble, she'll be able to accept you." I was so angry I almost laughed. Just how big was his ego? He wanted me to be his mistress. Jealousy flashed in Emma's eyes, though she pretended to be magnanimous. "Selena, this is your last chance. As long as you mend your ways and serve Louise together with me, I'm willing to let go of the past and accept you." A dark line slid down my forehead. "First, I will never send away my children, and I absolutely don't want anything to do with you. Second, Miss Emma, stop treating me like a rival. I have zero interest in fighting you for a man. And please stop calling me sister, pretending like that. Aren't you tired? Third, I sincerely wish the 2 of you a long and happy marriage and healthy children." Louis assumed I was just being stubborn and softened his tone. "All right, stop standing at the door. Let's go into the private room. Selena, you love Yanting's Buddha jumps over the wall, and the sweet and sour mandarin fish. I'll order them both for you. Stop being childish. I have limited patience." Comments floated by. "I think the plot is getting weird. The male lead seems incapable of understanding human language." Not just the male lead. Emma and his whole group of idiot buddies are language impaired. I suddenly feel so sorry for the heroine. A sane person stuck with a group of lunatics must be exhausted. I truly was exhausted. Fighting, I definitely couldn't beat all of them. Talking, they didn't understand human language. Call for help, my phone had died. So I turned around and left. Emma's voice followed, tinged with secret delight. "Why is sister leaving? Is she unhappy with your arrangements?" "Louise, she's too ashamed to stay." "Forget her, let's eat. Later have Ryan pack her favorite dishes and send them to her." Louise's voice drifted into my ears from afar, and I couldn't help speeding up. Chapter 6, by the time I returned home, the sun had already set. Ryan was waiting at my doorstep. Seeing me get out of the car, he placed the packed meal boxes on the ground, blocking my way. The takeout bag had the words "Yanting" printed on it, and even through the bag a rich aroma lingered. "Take it away," I said coldly. Ryan looked at me with utter disdain. "Miss Selena, you're merely Luis's mistress now. What right do you have to defy him? I advise you to obediently pick up the food on the ground. Don't make Luis unhappy again, or even this little charity won't be yours anymore. Get lost." I kicked the meal box away, without even sparing him a glance, and walked straight into the villa. The next day, I found a familiar gilded invitation at my door. It was probably left by Ryan yesterday. Groom, Luis. Bride, Emma. I pressed my hand to my forehead. Luis really wanted me to attend his wedding fine, as he wishes. Hill Manor covered nearly 10,000 acres. Surrounded by mountains on 3 sides and facing the sea on the other, it was breathtaking. Like a fairyland in a painting. My dream once was to hold a magical wedding at Hill Manor. That dream had long been fulfilled. Someone even bought Hill Manor and presented it to me as a wedding gift. And from that day onward, I opened Hill Manor to host weddings for lovers, for free. The only rule, only one couple per month chosen by lottery. After investigating, I found out someone inside had accepted money and secretly manipulated the selection to give the spot to Luis. I instructed the manager of Hill Manor to proceed as usual. We must give Luis an unforgettable wedding. 2 days passed in a flash. On the morning of the wedding, I arrived at Hill Manor with my bodyguards. The ceremony area was on the island at the center of the lake. The bodyguards had already gone ahead and blended into the crowd. The usher at the entrance glanced at my invitation and immediately blocked me. "Miss Selena, this invitation is a special one. The bride specifically instructed that you must wait outside. Only after the ring exchange is completed may you enter the venue." Was Emma seriously trying to set rules for me? I didn't stop, continuing forward. The usher rushed to grab me. "Are you sure you want to pull on my dress, this haute couture gown I'm wearing costs $3 million. Upon hearing the price, the usher was terrified and backed away to the entrance. The Lake Island venue was filled with guests. They gathered in small groups discussing business or chatting and laughing. Emma had felt her eyelid twitching since morning. Even though she had instructed the usher not to let me in, she still kept glancing toward the entrance. The moment I stepped inside, her gaze glued itself to me. "Who is that girl? She looks incredibly elegant. She's stunning, even more dazzling than today's bride." Hearing the whispered discussions and seeing eyes drifting toward me instead of her, Emma clenched her teeth in rage. She rushed toward me. "How did you get in?" I replied mockingly. "Didn't you invite me?" Emma raised her voice. I clearly told. "Why are you afraid? I'll enter scared that if I show up, Luis will abandon the wedding." She choked, her expression turning ugly. "Why would I be afraid of you? I just think you're not worthy of defiling my..." And Luis is pure. Letting someone throw her out, 2 security guards walked toward me. They recognized me instantly. Because I had given advance instructions, they didn't reveal my identity. But they wouldn't obey Emma either. What a joke. Who dared to throw out the boss? Seeing the 2 unmoving, Emma panicked. "What's wrong with you 2? I order you to throw her out immediately right now, or I'll have you both fired." "Miss Emma, I believe you're mistaken. We are employees of Hill Manor. We are not under your command." Emma's face turned green, then red. "Do you know L Group? I'm the future wife of its boss. How dare you disrespect me?" "I'll make sure you suffer for it, madam. Please don't disrupt the event. Otherwise, we have the authority to reclaim the venue and permanently blacklist L Group from all future collaborations." Chapter 7, enough look at yourself. How disgraceful you seem in public. The commotion was noticeable. Seeing Emma arguing with the estate security, Luis rushed over to stop her. "It seems your upbringing truly is a shortcoming. Such poor manners. Do you understand that from today onward, everything you say and do represents my family? I expect you to integrate into high society quickly. Don't embarrass us." Seeing Luis genuinely angry, Emma tugged timidly at his sleeve. "Luis, I didn't mean to. It's just that these guards won't obey." Luis covered her mouth, his expression dark. "Watch your words. The force behind Hill Manor is rumored to be F Group." Emma's face instantly turned pale. "That legendary F group, yes, the top aristocratic family, in Huagua F group. Now you understand why I told you not to speak recklessly. If we offend them, our little corporation would be crushed instantly. Hearing Luis seriously lecture Emma about F group, I couldn't help letting out a laugh. Luis turned to look at me, and the next second amazement lit up his eyes. Selena, you look stunning today. Emma cleared her throat sharply, pulling him back to reality. I'm getting married today, and my only regret is the bride isn't you. But in my heart, you have always been the most important. You say you don't care, but I know you still love me. Otherwise, with your temper, you wouldn't have come today. I raised my hand, gesturing a pause sign, smiling sarcastically. If that's what you want to believe, I can't help you. I'm simply grateful I never married into your family. I had just turned to leave when two tiny toddlers bounced toward me like little balls, chanting Mommy Big Bun, Little Bun. Here, a radiant smile bloomed on my face, the happiest expression I'd worn in days. I squatted down and scooped my two little dumplings into my arms, planting a kiss on each tiny forehead. Big Bun, Little Bun, who brought you here, Grandma? They answered in unison. And only then did I see my mom chasing behind them, slightly out of breath. You two little ancestors slowed down. I was about to ask why their dad hadn't come when Luis suddenly asked, and did Selena really get married? My mom also looked speechless, but after all she had watched Luis grow up, as a child he'd been proper and promising. She used to see him as a good candidate for a future son-in-law, until one day he grew crooked. After what he did 5 years ago, my mom despised him fiercely for hurting me. Yes, she's married. Her tone was neutral. She assumed Luis would have enough self-awareness to step back. Unexpectedly, he stepped forward, right in front of my mom, his eyes turning red. Andy, please stop helping Selena lie to me. Even after 5 years apart, Selena and I still love each other deeply. I beg you, help us reunite. My mom was stunned, but her mind spun rapidly. Luis, have you lost your mind today? Is your wedding with that Emma girl? Why pull my daughter into this? You may not care about your shame, but we still care about ours. Broad daylight, and you dare to fantasize about making my daughter your mistress. Who dares covet my wife? The voice was calm, yet carried a natural pressure that swept over everyone present. The comment exploded instantly with the, why does this feel like the entrance of a big boss? Did you notice the male lead aura on Luis just vanish? Wait, why did that male label switch to Hudson? My husband walked toward us with steady, powerful steps. He pulled me into his arms, one hand resting possessively on my waist. Who is he? Luis's face twisted, and he rushed forward to question me. The answer was so obvious, yet he still stubbornly needed to hear it again. I tugged gently on Hudson's tie. He let out a low chuckle and leaned down willingly. Seeing his lips so close, I kissed him. Up my cheeks. When my breath steadied, I turned to Luis and introduced calmly my husband, Hudson. Luis's pupils shrank sharply, as if hearing something impossible to accept. No, Selena, did he force you? The one you loved all along is me, right? I'll definitely take you back from him. Hatred flared in Luis's eyes, scarlet and sharp like a blade aimed at Hudson. Luis, you're wrong. Our fate ended 5 years ago. Now in my eyes and in my heart, there's only one person, Hudson. Chapter 8, I shifted slightly, stepping in front of Hudson. I heard him let out 2 low chuckles and pull me even closer. I quietly exhaled in relief. This man behind me was an enormous jealousy jar. If he started overthinking, I probably wouldn't get any rest tonight. Luis froze and roared. I don't believe it unless you prove it to me, Daddy. This uncle is scary. He looks like a monster that eats kids. Big Bun clung to Hudson's leg, peeking from behind him. Brother, how many times have I told you there are no monsters in the world? His symptoms are exactly what the doctor said. He's a mental case. Lil Bun lifted his tiny chin proudly and pointed a little finger right at Luis's nose. Hudson snorted. Do I still need to prove anything, Big Bun? And Little Bun looked exactly like miniature versions of Hudson. Anyone with eyes could see the 4 of us were clearly a family. Seeing Luis still obsessing over me, Emma clung to his arm, tears shimmering in her eyes. Luis, she already teamed up with some stray man outside just to humiliate you. And you still want her to trample all over your feelings. It's actually the first time someone called me a stray man. Hudson's smile held a threat. Has my time away from Huagua been so long that no one remembers my name? The onlookers suddenly broke into agitation. My God! He's a legendary iron-fisted leader of F Group Hudson. I once caught a glimpse of him from afar. That aura, that's definitely him. And that beautiful Miss Selena is actually his wife. They're a perfect match. Luis's face stiffened. He muttered repeatedly, "This is impossible, impossible." He kept stepping back until crash, he knocked over the 8-tier champagne tower. Glasses tumbled in a chain reaction, champagne spilling everywhere, shards flying. Luis was drenched, champagne dripping from his hair and face. A complete mess. "You unfilial brat, you try to ruin our family. We just handed L Group to you, and you've already created such a disaster. Hurry over here and apologize to Mr. Hudson." Luis's father was nearly furious to death. He had only been gone a short while, and his son had offended this deity. "Mr. Hudson, my useless son failed to recognize your status. Please have mercy and forgive him." This once Luis's father, who had kept his back straight for a lifetime, now hunched as he begged Hudson. "Dad, don't beg him, he's just a fake." Slap, his father struck him with full force, leaving a dark red handprint on Luis's cheek. "You disgraceful fool." Neil apologized to Mr. Hudson, and Madam, his father's attitude made it impossible for Luis to keep lying to himself. His knees gave out, and he collapsed in front of us, humiliation filling his eyes, his face pale as ash. "I was blind and offended you both. Please forgive me. Enough. Just don't appear before me again," I said lightly, then grabbed Hudson's hand and took the two children, preparing to leave. Originally, I had planned to reveal my identity during the ceremony, to slap them in the face and drive the two of them out of Hill Manor. I didn't expect Hudson to return early and appear here, nor that Luis's father would force Luis to kneel out of fear of F Group. My goal was achieved either way. Now Luis was nothing more than an irrelevant clown in my eyes. Whatever happened to him was no longer worth my time. Emma threw herself into Luis's arms, face full of distress. "Luis, you still have me. I'll always stay by your side. As long as you turn around, I'll be right behind you." Suddenly the speakers, which had been playing piano music, exploded in loud static. The next second, Emma's voice blasted through the sound system. "Selena, so what if she was born into a better family? She was still defeated by me." Two fake tears, and Luis believes everything. She could only run abroad like a loser. That idiot Luis really thinks I'm madly in love with him. If his family weren't rich, I wouldn't even bother acting for him, just to marry and, haha, I'm dying. He actually thinks my grandma was hit by him. I had been targeting him long before. I sent my grandma to fake an accident. Who knew such a perfect idiot would show up? If I don't scam him, who should I scam? Chapter 9, Luis seemed struck by lightning. He clenched Emma's wrist as nails, digging deeply into her skin. "All your gentleness, your kindness. Was it all fake, you woman, all for money? You've been lying to me and using me all along," Emma cried, pitifully, shaking her head again and again. "It's not like that, Luis. Selena set me up. Have you forgotten our 5 years together, my love? Isn't fake." Luis didn't want to hear her excuses anymore and roared. "You're probably still laughing at what an idiot I am played so easily in your hands. If you hadn't stirred things up between us, how Selena and I have ever misunderstood each other. Without you, Selena would never have left me." Emma's wrist was close to being crushed. She struggled desperately, but couldn't break free. Provoked by the malice in Luis's eyes, she finally dropped her act and sneered. "That's right. You are an idiot. If you hadn't been born into the right family, what makes you think I'd ever look at you twice? I coaxed you for 5 years. Even a dog would have been moved by now. But you flirt with me while still dreaming of marrying Selena. Luis, you're disgusting. Shut up, Luis." Suddenly grabbed Emma by the throat, falling into madness. Emma was nearly suffocating. Her sharp nails clawed at Luis desperately, and in a final struggle, she kicked him hard between the legs. Age! Luis was struck in his most vulnerable spot. Veins bulged across his face as he flung Emma into the shattered glass from a fallen champagne tower. The exposed skin on Emma's body was instantly cut open. She writhed in agony, and the more she moved, the worse the wounds became. At my signal, security quickly stepped in to restrain the rampaging Luis. Why stop them dog eat dog is pretty entertaining. Hudson squeezed my hand, leaning close to whisper in my ear. I felt helpless. Emma's public exposure had Hudson's fingerprints all over it. I had already guessed. This is where we held our wedding. Don't make a mess. Hudson looked very pleased with my answer, though he muttered, as long as you're not still hung up on your ex. I laughed. You think I'd be jealous over him? I don't put just anyone in my eyes. I knew my wife only has eyes for me. He lowered his head and captured my lips. My mom quickly covered the twins' eyes. Oh my. Shy moment, big bun, little bun, don't look. Right then the comment stream exploded. I remember the original ending. Selena forgave Luis and the two grew old together. Luis was a male lead. Why is he suddenly out of the story? A scumbag like him doesn't deserve to be ML. Looks like the author rewrote. Hudson and the FL are the real perfect match. Help my entire brain is replaying that sweet kiss. Moving my tiny chair and waiting for more spicy scenes. Haha. +1, +2, +10086. Suddenly Luis trembled violently as if he'd seen something unbelievable. His eyes lost focus, then seemed to latch onto some crucial information. A spark lit in them. I am the male lead, Luis laughed, wildly a surge of manic strength helping him break free. He charged toward Hudson and me. Bodyguards swarmed forward to block him. Hudson, I am the chosen one, the child of destiny, the master of this world. You get out of my way, swaggering Luis turned toward me. Selena, come here. I can forgive you this once. I realized it. Luis could see the comment stream too. Leave him to me? Hudson's smile vanished. His eyes turned icy as he faced Luis. The two men confronted each other. Luis was like a rabid beast lunging toward Hudson. Hudson didn't even blink. He simply lifted a leg and kicked. Luis flew. He tried to get up. Hudson kicked again. Up kick, until Luis lay on the ground panting like a dying dog, Hudson's shoe crushing his face. Selena's male lead can only be me. Get lost. Hudson lifted his foot, wiped his hands with a tissue, and tossed it onto Luis's face. Only then did I realize, hubby, you can see it too, Shu. Hudson smiled mysteriously and whispered, so only I could hear. They said they want to see a spicy scene. I covered his mouth, glaring at him. You'll pay for this at home. But in the end, I didn't get to punish him. He pinned me down and handled me thoroughly. The next morning, I rubbed my sore waist as I ate the loving breakfast Hudson made. He casually mentioned that after we left, Emma mocked Luis as a stray dog. Infuriated, Luis slashed her face with broken glass. The police took them both away. The farce came to an end. Not long after L Group, drowned in debt, on the verge of bankruptcy. Luis's father denounced him as an unfilial son and expelled him from the family. Emma sued Luis for intentional injury. Luis sued Emma for fraud, and both ended up in prison. I looked at Hudson's arm around my waist, big bun, clinging to my left leg, little bun hugging my right. A husband, children, and a warm home. This life is